Center Arena just south of in this league. Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner to be when you're thinking about the success.
In great company.
Atlanta starts it off in their white jerseys as Indiana in their dark navy blue jerseys. Immediately we see a substitution that's going to be ready for Atlanta. Nia Coffey at the scores table. The deep dive by Bree Jones off the mark, a bit short, and Natasha Howard able to corral that in. She crosses half court. We already know that she is in range. The Rookie of the Year a season ago, also an all-star in her first year, as Kelsey Mitchell with the rock, working baseline, finds Boston. 7 on the shot clock, a little mouse in the house, and Aaliyah Boston couldn't connect. Second look as Kelsey Mitchell wide left.
It's really going to test Atlanta's defense, especially on the on-ball screen, something Carl Smeshko said that they needed to get better at against Washington.
Poke from behind for Natasha Howard. That's something she does pretty well, as she's a former Defensive Player of the Year as well. Caitlin Clark, step back three, back iron.
Competitive this game possibly get, even though we're still in preseason. These are two teams that are contenders.
PG for three, as we mentioned it. Her third triple single season. How about this tab? She only had 9 leading up in her first 10 seasons.
And as you get older, Angel, I mean, BG still can do production in the paint as Natasha Howard puts one up over Bree Jones. But when you get older, you want to get out and shoot some jump shots. And I feel like that's the reason why Brittany Griner said, listen, I'm going to extend my range because threes are worth more than 2.
First turnover for Atlanta as Caitlin Clark going at Alicia Gray and takes one too many steps and turns it back over. Successful at Florida Gulf Coast. That was their bread and butter, in a sense, just making sure they put up the most threes, had the most 3 attempts at Florida Gulf Coast a season ago. Bree Jones showed on another attempt in the paint. That is her look.
Yeah. It's taking on the defense. Brianna Jones will get those.
A turnover. Shatori Kimbrough drains one from deep. So they'll say it was a long 2, I believe. Score hasn't changed here in the arena or on our stats here.
Walker Kimbrough getting caught up on that, losing her man on the defensive end. That's something that they work on.
So 2 triples for Atlanta. Can they get a third? And Nia Coffey a bit left.
I'll say this, the 3-point shooting for Atlanta has been on point in practices that we've seen, but also in the first preseason game. And so far here today, good defense by Brianna Jones to take an off-balance shot.
Last year, Atlanta was at the bottom of the rankings when it came to 3-point shooting. And that's something we've seen in their first preseason game against Washington as a point-blank miss for Aaliyah Boston. You can tell the frustration she has there.
And Alicia Gray keeps getting cross-matched onto Aaliyah Boston.
Off the mark. Shot 72% from the, does that make 3 now on the floor? Oh no, 1 shuts out. So 1 in for the other. Is that what we're going to see throughout the season?
Yeah. Maybe we can all skull them on the floor at one time. This place will erupt if that happens. Brianna Jones coming off a EuroLeague championship.
And just a miscommunication, and Caitlin Clark taking advantage of no weak side help. And she gets her first points of the ball game. Indiana out front by 1. Sophie Cunningham, we mentioned one of the newer additions coming over from Phoenix. So Brittany Griner's old teammate. And a foul that will go against Sophie Cunningham. That'll be her first.
Yeah, Cunningham wanted to travel, but the ref saw a bit too much hand.
We talked about how the revamped roster looks for the Atlanta Dream. Well, how about the Indiana Fever? Very aggressive in what they wanted to do in the offseason.
My goodness, we talked about the additions we added, but you've got Dewana Bonner as a presence, Natasha Howard as a presence, Sophie Cunningham, all these feisty players with fire in them, which makes them a contender.
And just having conversations with Stephanie White as well, and Caitlin Clark.
And they had a lot thrown at them last year. I mean, the way they settled in was impressive, to say the least.
0 for 2 from Shatori Walker-Kimbrough. Down the lane, took it, and they'll say the bucket is no good. Foul nonetheless, and they'll get it on the sideline.
That's okay if the bucket's no good between 10 last season.
Points, assists, and the bucket for Te-Hina Paopao. Explosive, entertaining. And Atlanta able to grab Te-Hina Paopao in the first round of the draft. Spent 3 seasons at Oregon, had all Pac-12 honors. Shot 38% from outside. John Staley loved it so much, wanted to come back for 2 seasons. In the first with her on the roster, had the undefeated season and went on to win the national championship.
And led the nation in three-point shooting during that undefeated year with South Carolina as well, in three-point shooting.
So another foul by the Atlanta Dream will send Aaliyah Boston back to the free throw line.
She forgot to take it off.
Oh, maybe it was a learned habit.
They might have. Gotta go back and watch now.
We'll go back and watch the tied at 9, just under 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Seen a good pace for both sides. A lot of different substitutions as both teams, both coaches wanting to play with different rotations in the final preseason game.
Ooh, look at that pass.
Back door. Lexi Hall blocked Te-Hina Paopao in there.
And look at that defense. Te-Hina Paopao showing that she can play both sides of the basket.
Love for the game, saying Atlanta reminds me of home. I'm back in the South, and this was the best decision of my life.
Yeah, I think that's to your point, Autumn and Tad, what you said, just the youthfulness of it as Te-Hina Paopao not taking any time. Often, we brought this up earlier, too, with Jordan Canada sustaining the injury in the first play of the game against Washington in the preseason game. We've been told that it's the right knee. She will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. But you'd start to think, okay, so what's the backup? Who are the opportunities that are going to be there?
So far, just not being scared to step out there and take on these bigger, faster, stronger players in the W.
I mean, she was coached also by one of the most fearless, fastest, one of the best in Dawn Staley at South Carolina.
And as a player in the W as well. A lot of people forget that Dawn played this game at a high level.
Who forgets that? 3-ball good.
I would enforce the fact that bigs can not only play underneath and dominate, but also stretch the floor and shoot that three-point shot, as we got some South Carolina on South Carolina violence going on.
The being at practice is also the terminology in which Carl Smesko uses, and we're always going to say, okay, so what did that mean at that point in time? And Caldwell couldn't get in on the three-point party, but
a lot of acronyms.
A lot of acronyms, and we said STFO. He was like spacing the floor out, and we're seeing a lot of that spacing so far for Atlanta.
Absolutely, they're pushing the pace as well, making the defense play them and not be stagnant as Maya Caldwell puts up a three, back irons it.
Same result for Maya Caldwell as Caitlin Clark, top of the key, and drains her first triple of the day, so gives Indiana the lead.
And now Atlanta with a 5-out offense.
Ryan Howard. Alicia Gray. It's turned into a 3-point attempt team.
I mean, the good thing is long shots, long.
We have the tickets. We don't have. We have no access to the tickets.
The only way I'm getting in is because I'm working.
Angel Gray, Tabitha Turner, and Autumn Johnson here with you for the final preseason game for the Atlanta Dream and Indiana Fever, as Caitlin Clark back in the game drains the three to start the second quarter. Te-Hina Paopao already seen a very good output from her offensively. Off the bench, 5 points in 5 minutes as Shatori Walker-Kimbrough at the glass couldn't connect.
It's a nice hesitation by Walker-Kimbrough. A little bit of contact, but not enough to get the call. Cece with the hand tools behind the back.
The dish on the inside to Sophie Cunningham, the biggest lead for.
Lost her behind her defensively. Howard hits the front of the rim, and that's something that Carl Smesko works on with them, and it's called plugging the hole. He said, we don't want to let anybody get behind us or outside of our defense, and on that last possession, the offense getting behind Walker Kimbrough, something that they've been working on, and again,
just missed it at the rim, rolled off from season 1 to season 2, and yes, we just have a small sample size for Caitlin Clark, but having the conversation with Steph White before the game, she mentioned just, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And coming in, I mean, from a very good NCAA season and career, straight into the WNBA, all eyes on to adjust, as well as her teammates. Time to adjust to her style of play, but it seems like she has that confidence, that poise, and the stability that Steph White was talking about that she worked in the offseason.
I mean, she had so much thrown at her so early as Ryan Howard draws the foul on Caitlin Clark, but Caitlin Clark just so impressive with how she handled that pressure as well, telling media that there's sometimes that she didn't know whether to lean on her vets and ask them a question or be that leader. She didn't know when to use that voice, because that's hard to do. As the point guard, you've got to be able to lead your team, and you're asking a rookie who has all eyes on her, who's coming straight off a national championship, to do those things, and that's tough to do. CC, and this year, she's game planning again, but as her coach, putting her in situations to where teams are going to game plan for her and try to put her in tough situations.
Where people question if you don't have the title, the chip, what does that do for your legacy? I don't think it does anything. She had an absolutely amazing career.
Absolutely.
And it was really fun, honestly, to see her go back to Iowa on her old floor and shoot from where she broke. Really fun to see her career and how it blossoms as there's another foul against Atlanta.
That switch where the
2 fouls for Tahina Powell. On the other side, Caitlin Clark has 2 as well, the one she picked up before this possession. 6 on the shot clock. Boston going at Bree Jones, shorting the attempt, and Alicia Gray on the left leg. Slow to get up, but it looks like she'll be able to hobble herself off the floor as the trainer trying to assist, and right away Alicia Gray running to the
again and lead the league in assists. Jordan believes that she can do this with the pieces around her, and we are all wishing her the best. But for more inside-out looks, push and transition, and take care of the ball. Spoken like a true point guard, but also I'll go check in on Alicia Gray. We saw her grab her knee as well, and we'll see if she returns. Oh, she's back on the bench, actually.
Live tweeting, reporting. Thank you, Autumn.
And that's good news to hear Alicia Gray back on the bench. And it was good to see her run off on her own will as well. And they're sitting next to each other. Leash not looking happy at all.
If you know, but to Autumn's point, just the inside out, that's what led to another 3 for Tahina Powell, who's leading the way for Atlanta right now in the points department. She has 8 and a back door by Naz Hillman.
And that's that bestie connection, Ryan Howard finding Naz Hillman. We talked up their relationship for the last 2 seasons about how it feeds their chemistry on the court.
Sophie Cunningham getting in on the action. Triple now with 5 points. Atlanta on a bit of a run after that timeout.
And Angel, we were wondering how Tahina Powell would handle the pressure. And, you know, in the absence of Jordan Canada, as she's continuing to be reevaluated, who's going to step into that point guard position? And we said, well, it has to be Tahina Powell. We have enough guards at the 2 and the 3 who can bring the ball up. But a true point guard, it's got to be her.
And you're like, who's the rookie here? Like, the energy that she infuses into this team as well, with all her teammates. Very confident in what she can provide in her rookie season. Mia Coffey turned down the 3, gets it back to Ryan, still looking for her first field goal, and drains it from the wing.
She knocked it down right in front of us, and it was a line drive. I saw it. It was all the way. She's got that look of relief on her face that finally one went down.
It was 0 for 4 from the field before that last attempt as another turnover. Atlanta on a 10-3, make it 12-3 run as they are now just down 1 point. And a timeout for Steph White in Indiana as they try to right the ship. Been chirping at one of the officials, had an extensive conversation even during the free throws with Sarah Williams. And another turn. can take the lead with a bucket here. Deflected by the outstretched hands of Kelsey Mitchell. Sophie Cunningham deciding to reset things. Step back triple. And Kayla not happy.
Listen.
Wanted the foul as well.
There's nothing you can do about that, Tahina. Just go down and recover. That's Caitlin Clark's shot. It was defended well. Offense was even better. But it started with the turnover. And right there, Bree Jones with a nice pass to Walker Kimbrough, who slips back door.
But that's something that Stephanie White knows all too well, as she spent some time in Connecticut as well. Bringing her forward can be a playmaker from the top of the key. So the out double figure. She has 11, 4 for 7 from the field. Pow returning the favor and does.
I like it. Pow said, I'm NCAA fan. Come watch me work.
She now has 11. It's very reminiscent of that rivalry we saw from Iowa and South Carolina, getting a little taste of that in the WNBA. DeWanna Bonner, triple good.
This three-point shooting on both sides is just of 11. The Dream 6 of 17.
And to think about the potent outside shooting that we're seeing from that.
Her offense, but defense to offense. She's also one that gets her hand in the cookie jar and creates offense with her steals in transition.
She was a game changer for Atlanta when she was available last season. Just mentioned her availability, only had the 20 games last year. It was such changed the dynamic in the open floor.
I don't know how many times I said this is how this team can operate when Jordan Canada touches the floor. I think I had to say it 100 times last year when we did see her touch the paint.
Ryan Howard pulls up, back iron. Now 1 for 7 from outside. Howard going at Naz Hillman, lost the handle and it rolls out of bounds. As that will be the 10th turnover for Indiana.
And that's the pressure Naz Hillman puts on you, right? Like, she's a nice post player, really the size of a guard, but somehow she's managed to find her niche. Because of her hustle and her tenacity, she's not gonna let you see than she is or bigger than she is. She takes it to heart, how she defends. All heart, literally.
And lots of skill.
and a lot of hair, too.
7 on the shot clock for Gray as she sends it back to Ryan Howard. Has not been able to connect from outside, and that's how effective she can be. We saw it last season. She said, a lot of people were taking away my three. I have to show them what I can do off the bounce, and you don't want to miss that in the outside attempts.
And right now, she's just finding her rhythm. That's why she's putting up so many attempts, just trying to figure it out throughout the game as Kelsey Mitchell. Well, Ryan's going to find that shot. It's been looking good lately, just not right now.
Well, Kelsey Mitchell can get in rhythm and quick. Think about her output even in the NCAA. You have the 1st and 3rd best scorers in the NCAA on the same roster. It's scary hours.
We weren't sure what exactly happened.
From the film, or from the look that we got, it seemed as if it was a knee situation. We got and run back in. It's good to see. Naz Hillman outside, showing in her minutes all that she can do last preseason game. A lot of players are trying to show and earn their way on the roster. Finds the hands of Natasha Howard, gets the bucket.